This is day 1,000. This is day 1,209 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, and like all of our recent learning sessions, this session is devoted. All this chusah session is devoted to the Yeshua of Am Yisrael in its fight against the terrorists from Gaza and Machshmam Zichram. So today we're doing Simon Kupei Zayin, Sif Samech Zayin Zayin Hey. Samech Zayin. First of all, Rabbeinu Beis Yosef, Sif Ches, and dear to these rabbos, if she wants to get healed, Tzarich Kodem Shetis Chazek. That's be before she gets stronger. After she gets stronger, Yeshiv time mutuli smoker full shamish acharkach. Oh, not stronger. Happen before she gets a chazaka of being raw machmas tashmish. But if she gets a chazaka of being raw machmas tashmish, the question is we can rely on the refuah and say, yeah, but nevertheless she can have relations. Yeshiv shemati those who permit it. Imam al rofei yisrael nisrapis. Jewish doctor tells her she's healed. If a woman sees that the blood of her cycle and her blood she sees is stopped by these medical procedures, it's clear that they worked. Yesh lo smoke al akum. You can even rely on a non-Jewish doctor. Period. Point. It means to say, Dafagav donu samchim al rofei gambi sukaris. Rofei shemitzah b'chola. Nechol b'yom kippur and chol mitzvah pesach. We rely on doctors. Even for Suri Karis. Like eating chametz Pesach or eating on Yom Kippur. We can say that there is evidence. We see a person sick. And furthermore, there's even a question of pikuach nefesh. But here the other rabbi, here she's assumed to be in the cheskas isakaris. In other words, there's no pikuach nefesh involved here. It's just assumption of nida, which is correct. She saw 3 times by having relations. How can we believe doctor to allow her to have relations with Chatchila? We'll see that a doctor is believed with his knowledge to do something from its chazaka. It would seem to be difficult in relying on a Jewish doctor. An Eid Echad is not believed to remove something from an assumption of prohibition when it's not something which he has the capacity to do. Nevertheless, it's only a doubt. It's only a possibility. There's the other possibility. Came out and the Torah gave doctors permission to heal. The this is certainly an illness. And certainly has medical procedures which would work for it. Fascinating. Which is Mikanchi Tan Rishus or the Rapos, gives the doctor Nemonis when he says that she's been healed. There's no difference if the Nemonis crumbs from Chalei Shem Refe, so it doesn't make a difference if he's a Jew or not a Jew. She's an expert relying on him. Lo so he's not going to put his expertise at stake. Therefore, it is a suffix in halacha. So therefore, Beis Yosef says, those who made it with a Jewish doctor, the additional tzad heter by Robi. So the Eidachot Neman Lo Tzim Cheskas Isab Davar Sheb Yado. Eidachot is believed to remove something from the assumption of Isser when it's in his hands, his capacity to do it. Well, here we consider doctor that it's in his capacity. Since he's an expert about it, there must be some sort of medicine which works for this. A medical procedure. Even if she sees that the refuahs work for her, that the blood of her cycle and her sightings has been ceased. Having her that too is evidence. And then she can rely even on a non-Jewish doctor. It's like rely on a doctor when a sick person comments on Pesach and Yom Kippur. Especially because this is something which can become clarified afterwards. Did the doctor actually have any acumen, was accuracy involved, etc. Simultaneous. Because of those who wrote Shimra, Inu Sharofi is a Nasar fully Isha Sharosa Shnei Pamim, Pamashish Bole Baal Vloras Adam. If we saw this doctor actually healed another woman by giving her this medication after she saw it 2 times, and the third time, that's in that relation, so she did not see blood. Another woman can rely on this doctor even after she became Becheskas Isser after 3 times. That's the Bach and the Shach. Mutar Shemesh Pam Bris, she can have relations the 4th time with that husband. Rami shows that many people ask this. Came to Rishon Lo this Chaska dying since the first one did not have a Cheskas Ramach Tashmish. About many Chaska, how do you know? How is he assumed to be a proper doctor? In this respect, another woman can rely upon him. After she came, some assumed to be Aser. And that's the Chappas Das and Rebbe Frankel and the Pesach Chuvas question. Yeshe takes those answers. Mishum the Rebbe betrays even have a chazaka. According to Rebbe, after 2 times it's chazaka. The Rebbe in Rosh Hashanah is machloikas where the chazaka is after 2 times or 3 times. Became the Rebbe is according to Rebbe. Requiring his chazaka, it's already his chazaka says it's the Lachain Sechinos there. Shum the Yesh B'Dvarim the Kaim Lak Rebbe, and we rely on this logic because there are things where we hold like Rebbe. The most famous thing is by Katlonis. She's going to marry a woman whose 2 husbands died. Please know my the dafka kamash they pami because this specifically means 2 times. Then he is starting near a pashut. In other words, after 2 times because the Rebbe, because even though she has a cheskas iser, according to Rebbe, the doctor can be motzi even the cheskas iser. When he starting near a pashut, Arukh says to me, it seems simple. Probably aren't the inza borur shaloni smacha rofim. So it's not clear that we shouldn't rely on doctors. The That's why the language uses some people are unsure. Which I'm saying, like some people sif. When there's some evidence on something, roughly they rely on the doctor. Same she saw once, and the doctor healed her. She's not muzekes beser. It's evidence that he's effective. And the second woman can rely on him even if she gets a cheskas iser. I've seen that a sheni. We go like that other side. Came in the Shnei, not the Torah Shus, wrote for the Apple since the Torah gave a doctor permission to heal. Not in the Torah and the Torah gives him credibility in anything he says. It says here, can hear in the brackets, however, can hear and use that the halacha of alone ma'isa. He's not willing to pass him out yet. Yeshi Sashadover requires further analysis. I don't know, whatever. If you ever engaged in further analysis, because they're making the Arukh HaShulchan. Ayin, Amr Chazal. Chazal said that Ramach was tashmish somebody's woman who sees on account of relations v'vilua pitom, and they frightened her all of a sudden out of v'nava imen acharas dam, and a clump of blood fell out of her. Clump of chaticha dam, a piece of blood. B'yadu she's rap, we know she's healed. And maybe a Gemara Shnei Meisim. He brings 2 stories. The Gemara Breder in Nida Daf Sampa brings 2 stories. Bisha Shabali from the Rebbe. Munafan came from the Rebbe, who she was Ramach Mastashmish. Batil Avila, and he commanded to frighten her. Enough menacharos dam, and this clump of blood fell for her. From Rebbe said, "These rapas, though she's been healed." Bisha Shabali from Shmuel. Another one came from Shmuel. Tzivah Avila, and he commanded to frighten her. Nothing fell out of her. Shmuel said, "There's no fixing this woman. No fetzes. She fills herself up with the husband's zera, and then she spills out blood. Darkly smiles, or no, that's what not what he says here. Darkly smiles dam. She gets full of blood. Damnita lafits, and she expels it or bursts out. B'shas tashmish at the time of relations. She has no fix. Ayin sham. Leidati lam levi a Rambam zal din zeklau so break down. Ayin sham. Why the Rambam is so locha? But afim will lie to the Zan say ain't so militaris. Even if he holds in our day and age, you don't rely on this fix of the clump of blood coming out. Das Rabban, which is actually opinion Rabban, which goes over a tour. Become and never say should write it. Then we don't rely today on this medical procedure. Not clear. I know. The gamma tour of Shulchan Aruch see the simon to see if that should be things that he spies bal efach. So we can be astounded in the opposite direction to Shulchan Aruch. Lama loy bi l'chumra. Why did they bring no chumra? Dim lo nafal mena. They have nothing for her, and the cause nothing to do. The Russians and Masha, the Shuv Loma, and Shum Tikkun. When Shmuel sounds like that's it, she's finished. No fixing her. Maybe because they wrote that we don't rely on such a takara today. By the time the nation became both in Bella, and the reason seems to be because we're not clear as to what the sheer is of frightening her. So we're relying on the chumrah. Don't rely on the chumrah, so to speak, in order to ask her if nothing falls out. It's possible he holds the kavana ain't let takana before zu. That means she has no takana this medical procedure. But she can still try other medical procedures. Still, maybe the old tube check still works. The talking because all this requires further analysis. I'm based. So showing Rabbeinu Beis Yosef. Beis Yosef's language actually is hivilo plitom if they frightened her all of a sudden. No matter a clump of blood fell out. Nisrape, in Nisrape, she is cured. Mutar Sabal, she's permitted to her husband. Because of Rasa, but if she went back and saw again, even one time on account of relations, she's not healed. As man as that ain't matin idea for zu in our day and age, we don't permit based on this refuah. However, we don't make her get divorced from this husband. Actually, well, after they did go through this procedure, actually, until she has actual relations, and she clearly seen to go back to her problem. At the time, reason why she goes back to a problem even after one time. In other words, even though there was before, after one time, she goes back to the status of Isser. Because you see that frightening, evidently did not help her so much. That which he's wrote, how we permit this with manazet, it means to say we're not supposed to ab initio to begin with. Tell us to be involved with this procedure. However, if it happened, it worked. Shabbat means okay. Come this guy Shaw. Nevertheless, if she got divorced, say low. I feel b'diavad. We don't let her get married to him. I assume to say divorcing his husband, even b'diavad. Option is gash zeh. Even if she's divorced for another reason. But the okay, because otherwise, below also is not to take her back. If she jumped out of bed in a fright, much blood fell out of her, doesn't work. It doesn't work. Maybe it's not the clump of blood Chazal we're talking about. Clump of blood sounds like it's a thick piece of blood, not gushing blood. So Gimel. Gilden oder, which is hemorrhoids in English. Shadam zami piatas, where blood comes from the anus. Ainza inyan closely close b'dah hadam shows a malcolm sibazu. You can't link blood, which you find in the genitals, to blood you find in the anal region. Ki anal baklal rechem doesn't come into the womb at all. You can't rely on doctor. Don't pay attention to doctors who say that somehow can find its way in through the sinews, the nerves of the genitals. But they're talking baloney. Although this is much worse. An expert doctor said, I guess to the. Oh no, he said no. Hemorrhoids have anything to do with the genitals. That's the and the Rabbi Kivega. A woman has a hernia internally. Shemayim nothing matter where her innards, intestines, I guess, fall downwards. This has nothing to do with blood. So it's similar evidence for this is a symmetry. Remember this that the hernia doesn't help you out it's that there's a Gemara which says which means literally we don't assume there's blood in the kishka. That you have to malicha on it. But here it means that we don't assume the blood comes from um, the um, hernia. Even though a doctor says she is bleeding, because of the rip in some diaphragm there, which has red, I guess, little veins in it, little blood vessels. Nevertheless, it's hard to say blood comes on account of this hernia. If it's possible that blood comes out, there's no room for this blood to get to the canal. What are you used to calling it? It's called the canal. In front. The study definitely approves them because the sides of the walls of the canal interrupt. So repeat again. And if the blood somehow came from that inner hernia through the cervix, it's obviously a complete needle. Any blood which comes through the cervix, whatever reason is, have a dam neither blood. Except I think we said that for sure she has a maka, it's not a problem. Somebody who has a hernia in the genitals themselves, the genitals fall down, she's going to forefall. His Bible said the Shema Sim Kufay Ches Barichus. So joy. This is explained next Simon at length. Ayin Sham. Ayin doubt. Find his Bible Reish Simon that we already explained the comic on the Sovrim. And several great authorities hold the Roa Machmas Tashish have a vesicle. It's a cycle like any other cycle. And therefore it's not just Vesta, so she's okay. Sham, the Ain's in Vesta, we said it's not a Vesta's issue. It's an illness. How Goyim was there to Dam B'Shas Tashish causes her to see blood at the time she has relations. This is the rights of the Torah prohibition. The Ilu Ain's a Rak mean Vestas. We're only a type of cycle. A Kamala Vestas Rabbanim. And with cycles, we hold only the Rabbanim issues. Because on the above. Because never is Del Inan Etzam Hariyah Shemach Mustache. That's in terms of the actual seeing blood on account of the relations. And we come Shemach Lazu Toli Bizmami Nazmanim. It could be it's an illness, but that comes occasionally. Which because the Rashi B'Tshuva. So I say Isha's I said Dr. Dos Machmas Tashmish. Every half year she would see Machmas Tashmish, but not other times. So in terms of time, you would have to be concerned with the cycle. Sounds like you have to be concerned with Chumrah, but it sounds like it should be the Kula. It says in brackets here, the Tashish answer Lozman Kavua in a Veset. Tashish is not a set time, it's not a cycle. Aine, B'Zel Shor Rabbeinu B'Yosef Sif Yud. A roa Adam B'Shas Tashmish, somebody who sees blood at the time relations. With the Shamish Pam Shtir, she can have relations. The second time Shatar, when she goes to Atara. However, we're concerned one time after she saw. If she saw once or twice during the night when she went to mikvah, when the next mikvah night comes, she has to separate that night because maybe that's the night which she says sees machmas tashmish. But ain't certainly supposed to shlishis. You don't have to go. She doesn't have to separate herself for the third night of the tefillah. No. She doesn't have to separate herself for the night of the tefillah the third time around. Coming look over vestas, anything which hasn't established a pattern. It's only later on. It hasn't established a pattern. No chayish el chayzim are all concerned. One time. I'm not so sure exactly why that is. Maybe it's hard to explain it. In the core of this din, there's no halach or no chiddush. For holech al yisochitas Rashi goes on the Rashi basis of Rashi. Shpish Masham Gemara explains that which says Gemara Yesh LeBesta to Vesta. That if she has a cycle, she can assume it's a cycle. Perusha means she Yesh Lo Zman Kavua Birasa Machmas Tashish. She has a set time when she sees on account Tashish Have Habi Kavesis, then it's like a cycle. Test Shameshim Best you can have relations between cycles. Moshe Biaram C Flamates. El the Chiddush within too, the Chiddush is Shtana Toli's man Filos or Shema Zoa Best. We say that Tash goes to Mikha might be the cycle. Shema that Tfila Garim Lo Liros Machmas Tash, meaning that's the Tfila, which is the catalyst for it to see on account of Tashmish. Ma'ish calling out Tfilos, so therefore the entire time of that Ona, of that period, 12-hour period, when she went to the mikveh, Aluli Ros Machmas she is likely to see on account of Tashmish. It's like the vesses which comes on account of jumping around or eating onions, it's garlic, etc. So she has to separate for the night or a tefillah, like any other. Oh no, it's shamesh sheyom achat tefillah. She go to she have relations the day after. She toibled in. She toibled. Okay, this is not the beginning, not the end of this discussion, but is the end of our learning for today.